Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. First part I had explained what is OSI model. Then today I will explain it has 7 layers in OSI model. First, application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer and physical layer. In our previous video, we explained the fundamentals of the OSI model. In this session, we will examine each of its 7 layer in details. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, you can find the link in the description below. So without delay, let us start application layer. First of all, upper 3 layer is the software layer and application layer, presentation layer and session layer. It is software layer. Then lower 3 layer, network layer, data link layer and physical layer. It is a hardware layer. Then you can say upper 3 layer support layer and lower 3 layer network support layer. I hope you understand. Uh, so without delay, let us start application layer. What is application layer? It works as intermediate between intermediate between user and application. User and application. Then the software, the application the application that you are using will never be consider a part of application layer. Then it is provide the interface between user and application user and application. The software, web browser, web browser will not be will not be consider consider as as application layer. Or for exam application layer. For example, Google Chrome, Google Chrome, Google Chrome, Opera, Safari, UC browser, UC browser. It is a use protocol. It is used protocol protocol SSH, Telnet, DNS, DSCP, NTP, HTTP, FTP, etc. etc. Then it is used it is used PDU. PDU stands for Protocol Data Unit. PDU stands for Protocol Data Unit. It is used PDU user data. User data. What is presentation layer? Presentation layer. This layer is responsible for this layer is responsible for responsible for presenting the data presenting the data in required format. Required format. Format. It is responsible for it is responsible for converting converting data into a standard format. A standard format. A standard format. Then also called also called translation layer. Translation layer. For example, MP3, WAV, BMP, JPEG, MPEG, etc. It is used video. It is used video. PDU stands for Protocol Data Unit. Format data. Formatted data. It is it is used protocol SSL. SSL. Secure socket layer. Other function of presentation layer. Other other function of presentation layer. Yeah, of this layer. This layer. First, encryption and decryption. Encryption and decryption. Decryption. Second, compression and decompression. Compression and decompression. compression. Third, encoding, decoding. Encoding, decoding. Decoding. Then, what is session layer? Third, what is session layer? Session session layer. Session layer. Session layer. Session layer from a session between user and server. User and server. It maintains the session dialog control. Dialog control. Control. Then the session from the session layer. The session layer track the dialogues tracks the dialogue dialogues between system, which are also called session, which are also called session. Then it is responsible to establish a connection, maintaining and terminating the session between two communicating device. Two communicating device. Maintaining and two communicating device. What is session ID? Session ID also work at session layer. Session layer. It is used PDU format data. Formatted data. It is use protocol NFS. NFS stand for Network File System. Network File System. Function of session layer. Function of session layer. First of all, establish maintenance and terminate the session. Establishment 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 maintenance establishment and maintenance and terminate the session and terminate the session terminate session. Then synchronization synchronization. Then dialog controller. Then what is transport layer? What is transport 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 layer? It is responsible for end to end or process to process delivery data. End to end and process to process delivery data. Then it is also known as heart of OSI model. Then it also provides the acknowledgement of the successful data transmission and retransmission the data. If an error is found, for example TCP, UDP, etc. It is use protocol it is use protocol TCP, UDP and GRE. It is used PDU. PDU stands for Protocol Data Unit Segment. Segment is segment is equal to data plus TCP and UDP. TCP and UDP. Function of function of function of transport layer. Transport layer. First, identify service. Identifying service. Then multiplexing and demultiplexing. Multiplexing and demultiplexing. Then segmentation. Segmentation. Then error control. Error control. Then flow control. Flow control. Then connection control. Connection CTI1 connection control. Then dialog control. Dialog control. What is multiplexing and demultiplexing? What is multiplexing? Multiplexing. What is multiplexing? What is different between multiplexing and demultiplexing? What is multiplexing? Multiplexing, when you combine a multiple process, when you combine a multiple process into a single process, it is called it is it is called as multiplexing. It is called as multiplexing. Demultiplexing. What is demultiplexing? When you divide the process, when you divide when you divide when you divide the process data from one process to their respective process process is called as demultiplexing. You can say multiplexing many to one, and demultiplexing one to many. What is network layer? Network layer. It is responsible for moving packets from source to destination. It is logical addressing. It is logical addressing work on this layer. It is used to IP address with segment. It is used protocol. It is used protocol IP, ICMP, OSPF, EIGRP, etc. It is used PDU, protocol data unit packets. Function of network layer. Function of network layer. Routing and logical addressing. Routing and logical addressing. What is data link layer? Data link layer. Data link layer. It is responsible for node to node delivery of the message of the message. It is also used to add MAC address with packet. The main function of this layer is to make sure data transfer is error free from one node to another over the physical layer. Physical layer. Physical layer. It is used PDU frame. It is used protocols ARP, MAC, SDL, STP. Function of data link layer. Function of data link layer. Framing. Physical addressing. Error control. Flow control. Flow control. Access control. Access control. What is physical layer? Physical layer. It is responsible for converting the data converting frames into bytes, and then into signals. Then it is lowest layer of OSI model. Then it is responsible for the actual physical connection between the devices. Then physical media analyzer. Physical media analyzer. For example, cat, coaxial, coaxial, and fiber optics. Fiber optics. It is used protocol. It is used protocol Bluetooth, Bluetooth, Blue, Bluetooth, Ethernet, Ethernet, ISDN, etc. It is used PDU. PDU stands for Protocol Data Unit bit. Function of physical layer. Function of physical layer. Bit synchronization. Bit synchronization. Bit rate control. Bit rate control. Physical topologies. Physical topologies. Transmission mode. Transmission mode. I hope you understand